Hello my dear students, welcome to another video session from Karim's Biology. So you know that we were discussing about heredity from parent to progeny, which is the 8th lesson from your biology textbook, and this session is part 7 in which we are going to learn about why Mendel selected pea plants. So you knew that when he was walking in his monastery's garden, he observed some of the plants which have some unique characters and traits, and he would have definitely observed some other plants also which would have same type of contrasting traits. But even though, why did he select only pea plants for his experiments? That we are going to study in this session. Definitely there would have been some advantages because of which he selected these pea plants. Let us see what are they. So reasons why Mendel selected pea plants. So the first character, which we already knew, that it has well defined 7 pairs of contrasting traits for study. We have seen this in the previous session, that there are 7 traits, there are 7 alternating pairs of traits present in this plant. Say for instance, seed shape. The seed may be round or wrinkled, or color of the seed cotyledon. The color of the seed cotyledon may be yellow or green. Okay, and the color of the flower ranges from purple to white, and the form, that is the shape of the pod, it ranged from constricted pods or inflated pods, and the color of the pod also yellow and it may be green. Okay, and the position of the flower may be axial or terminal. The length of the stem may be long, which is 6 to 7 feet long, and short, which is only 1 to 2 feet long. Okay, so these 7 pairs of characters can be easily observed. They can be very easily observed, which would have probably influenced Gregor John Mendel to choose this plant for his experiments. Okay, and these characters, these 7 pairs of traits are so clear that even not only Mendel, even a common man or even a child of your age can easily observe and differentiate the traits in these plants. That is one of the reasons why he had chosen this particular plant. So it has well defined 7 pairs. Well defined means clearly observable 7 pairs of contrasting traits for study. So that's one of the reason. And the second reason why he selected this pea plant is that it is an annual plant. Annual means, I think you know already that it means a year. Okay, at the end of the year you have annual examinations. That means at the end of the year, 1 year after completion of 1 academic year, you will be having annual examinations. Like that, pea plants, these are annual plants. Annual plant in a sense that it will complete its life cycle within 1 year. See here, pea plants are annuals, meaning that they complete their life cycle from germination of the seed to the formation of flowers and new seeds within 1 year. So you need not wait for 2 years or 3 years or 4 years to wait for the result that you get after completion of the experiment. Only within 1 year you are able to get the result. So this, I think, probably the reason. Okay, so the advantage is when the plant completes its life cycle within 1 year, several generations can be studied within a short period. Within 2 to 3 years, you can study several generations. Imagine that if you have chosen a plant that completes the life cycle in 3 years or 4 years. See, it is horrible because the experimenter has to wait for 3 to 4 years till the completion of the life cycle to get the result. So it is horrible and it is time consuming also. So this is another advantage. Life cycle of a plant begins with the seed germination. Okay, I'm just trying to give you some insight into the life cycle of a plant, how it starts and how it ends, and basing on that, what are the types of plants also I'm going to discuss in this session. Okay, life cycle of a plant begins with the seed formation. Okay, it begins with the seed formation. You all know that when you sow the seed in the soil, it germinates. Right, it germinates. Look here, the seeds, when they get enough moisture, when they get enough water, and when they get enough air which is pure, they will germinate and they grow into new plants. They grow into saplings and they grow into an individual plant which is able to produce again flowers. It is able to produce flowers, and the flowers, pollination takes place in the flowers. After pollination in the flower, what happens? After pollination, seed formation takes place. Again, the seeds will be dispersed. The seeds, when they are sown in the soil, they produce new plants. So this is the common or general life cycle in the plants. Okay, and this life cycle of a plant begins with the seed germination and continues till it bears the flowers and fruits in a particular season. Okay, now you see, basing on how much time does it take for a plant to complete its life cycle, there are three types of plants. Actually, this is not the related topic to you. It may be irrelevant in this topic, but I just want to give you a vivid insight into types of the plants basing on the lifespan. It will be useful to you because you are biology students. You have to study other aspects also in a concept. So types of plants basing on the lifespan. Basing on the lifespan, there are three types of plants. There are three types. How many types? There are three types of plants basing on them. What are they? First type of plants are called annual plants. I just now told you that annual plants are the plants. Pea plant is one such example for the annual plant. They are the plants which can complete their life cycle within 1 year. Within 1 year. So you need not wait more than 1 year to get the product from these plants. Okay, examples are mustard, watermelon, corn, lettuce, wheat, pea. So these are some of the examples of the annual plants which can complete the life cycle within 1 year. And the second category of plants basing on the lifespan. Remember, this we are categorizing these plants basing on the time that they take to complete their life cycle. That is basing on the lifespan. First one is annual, and the second category of plants basing on the lifespan are called biennials. Okay, you know the meaning of bi. Bi means 2. Ennials means year. So 2 years. These are the plants which complete their life cycle in 2 years. So for the first year, in the first year, they germinate, they grow completely, and they develop physically in the first year. Whereas in the second year, after completion of 1 year, they start producing the flowers, and the flowers turn into fruits. In the fruits, there will be some seeds. So this is what happens in the second year. So they will complete their lives in 2 years. Okay, examples: carrot, cabbage, petunias, radish, and onions. These are examples for biennial plants. And the last category are perennials or perennial plants. Peri means so many. Okay, perennial plants are the plants which take more than 2 years to complete their life history. They may take 3 years, 4 years, or some plants they turn into very huge trees which can survive for 100 years, 200 years, 300 years also. Okay, so examples are tomatoes, ginger, banana, mango, coconut, banyan, etc. Okay, so these plants are the examples for the perennials which can take more than 2 years to complete their life cycle. Okay, so this is the classification of plants basing on the lifespan. Now let us discuss about the life cycle of a pea plant. Okay, the life cycle of pea plant also begins with the seed. Okay, the seed germinates and forms a small seedling. Seedling grows and turns into a sapling. It turns into a plant, and within 1 year all these things happen. Remember that point. Okay, this grows into a plant, adult plant, which eventually produces flowers. Within the flowers there will be pollen grains and also androecium, gynoecium, everything is there. Pollination may happen. That may be either self-pollination or cross-pollination may happen, and after that the flowers turn into fruits. Within the fruits again there will be seeds, and the fruits ripe open, seeds will be exposed out. When the seed falls on the ground again, it will germinate. Okay, so this is how the life cycle of the pea plant happens. But remember one thing, that these things happen within 1 year because it is an annual plant. Okay, so pea plant is annual plant. So this is probably another reason that Mendel has selected this plant for his experiments, because he was performing fertilizations, he was performing self-fertilization, cross-fertilization, and he has to wait for the result, right? He has to wait for the result, and he could not wait for 2-3 years to get result of one pollination, one cross-fertilization. That's why he has chosen this pea plant for his experiment. This is the second reason. And there is third reason. The third reason is bisexual flowers. Okay, and I think that you remember your 7th class biology. In your 7th class, you have studied that the all flowers contain sex organs, which are 2 types of sex organs called androecium and gynoecium. Androecium refers to male sex organ and gynoecium refers to female sex organ. And when both androecium and gynoecium are present in the same flower, that means when both the sex organs are present within the same flower, that type of flower is called a bisexual flower. So pea plants they have bisexual flowers, which is one added advantage to Gregor John Mendel. You know why? When there are bisexual flowers, there are chances that you can perform self-pollination in the flower. That means you can experiment by doing self-fertilization, or you can perform cross-fertilization. Both you can do. If the flower is unisexual, if the flower is unisexual, you can only perform cross-pollination, but you cannot perform self-pollination. So that is another advantage. Okay, you know that every flower contains a gynoecium which is having ovary, style and stigma, and there will be an androecium that contains stamen, anther, and within anther you can find pollen grains, right? And let's move on to the next slide. This is another picture showing clearly about different parts in a flower. So what is this flower? It is a typical bisexual flower. Don't think that it is pea flower. It is only one picture that I have taken to explain about the parts of a flower. Just brief explanation that a flower contains, this is gynoecium, also called carpel, which is the female sex organ, and this is androecium, which is male sex organ. Okay, and pea plants, they have both gynoecium and androecium, so they are called bisexual flowers or bisexual plants, and that's why he has chosen their plants. I told you that advantage. He can perform cross fertilization or self fertilization. And the third one is predominantly self fertilization. Okay, predominantly self-fertilization means these plants, they are bisexual, they have bisexual flowers. When they have bisexual flowers, they can predominantly self-fertilize. I think that you know the meaning of self-fertilization. When the pollen grains of the anther reach the stigma of the same flower. Okay, look at this picture. It explains about the self-fertilization or self-pollination. The pollen grains from anther, they reach the stigma of the same plant. This is called self-fertilization. And there is maximum scope of self-fertilization in the pea plants because they are side by side. Pollen grains and stigma are side by side. Even a slightest blow of wind, even a shortest visit from an insect can carry this pollen grain from anther to the stigma. That's why they perform predominantly self-fertilization. Okay, don't think that only this is possible in this flower. However, it can be made to artificially cross-fertilize. You see, when Mendel performed the experiments, it is not always that he will perform self-fertilization. In most of the times, he has to perform cross-fertilization as well, and the cross-fertilization should be done very carefully, because if he did any mistake, there is a possibility that self-fertilization would have happened. That's why he has to do it very carefully. So in the next slide, I will tell you how they are able to perform cross-fertilization. Okay, see, emasculation. Artificially cross-fertilized by emasculation. See, emasculation is a method of removal of the male sex organs of the flower. What are the male sex organs of the flower? Androecium are the male sex organs of the flower. Emasculation is the method of removal of male sex organs. Look at this picture here. In this picture, with the help of a scissor, this man is cutting down the anthers. Okay, with the help of the scissor, anthers are removed from a flower. See, this is the flower. You know, anthers, they burst open to release the pollen grains. And if you remove the anthers after the anthers burst open and release pollen grains, it may not be possible for you to perform cross-fertilization, because while you are cutting, some of the pollen grains may fall on the stigma of the same flower. It may go for self-fertilization. That is why prior to the maturity of the anthers, they will be cut and they will be removed. Now this is the flower from which the anthers were removed. Removal of the anthers is called emasculation, and once the anthers are removed, this flower is now ready to perform cross-fertilization. Okay, so this is what Mendel did. Whenever he tried to perform cross-fertilization, carefully he removed these anthers by the method of emasculation before they mature, and only he made artificially this flower into a unisexual flower. Now he took another plant and he selected the pollen grains from another plant, experimental plant, and he carefully transferred with the help of a brush the pollen grains of one flower of another plant into the stigma of another plant. So this is how he performed the cross fertilization by the method of emasculation. Okay, and this is the most convenient method. You know, in other type of flowers, it may not be possible because the anthers may be deeply situated in a flower, so it may be difficult for the experimenter to cut or to emasculate, to cut the anther. Okay, but here anthers are freely exposed outside, so you can clearly cut. That is one more added advantage, that because of which he has chosen this pea plant for his experiments. Okay, so let us now come to the summary. We will now one by one see finally that what are the characters which made him to choose these pea plants. First one is it has well defined 7 pairs of contrasting traits for study, and second one, it is an annual plant. Okay, pea plants are annuals, meaning that they complete their life cycle from germination to the formation of new seeds within 1 year. Okay, so several generations can be studied within a short period. So within a short span of 2 to 3 years, he can study number of generations. Okay, and next one is bisexual flowers. Pea plants, they have bisexual flowers, which means the flower that has both sex organs and Richmond gynoecium. Okay, it makes both self and cross pollination possible. Just now I have told you how it can be done by removing the anthers. Okay, and other advantage is predominantly self-fertilization. A flower with androecium and gynoecium tend to self-fertilize. However, it can be made to artificially cross-fertilize. So this is one advantage, that he can perform either self-fertilization or cross-fertilization. Okay, and I hope that you understand this topic. In the next session, I will come up with another topic. Thank you very much for watching this video.